Good morning, Kabroda crew. Welcome to our live stream. We're back with another pre-morning or pre-market, I guess, like setup for the day. Bitcoin just goes all day, but I guess we're here for setting it up for the possible trade today. Normally they happen about 8:39, so we're kind of setting our battle box up, seeing what we got for today before that happens. And I guess just seeing what TA we also have for the rest of the day as well. So yeah, we're gonna go through, set up our battle box, and kind of check out what we got going on. So as y'all can see, yesterday we kind of went sideways, and then last night actually we kind of dumped out. So there'll be a recap, kind of covering a little bit more of that, maybe a little bit more TA on it later today at 8 or at 10. Sorry. So if you want to watch that, check that out. It'll be coming out on our YouTube channel. But if you want to check out our X account too, we'll have a link to the video there. So whichever one you follow, you can go ahead and just use that one to get to our video. Yeah, let's just jump into it. We'll get our battle box started for today. So I'm gonna head on over to our GPT here. You can see we got our market review, so we'll go ahead and start that for today. If you want, you can use the GPT with me. There's a link in the description. Our battle box is what we call it, but we'll have our, oh wow, okay, it's got a snapshot of price action. That's cool. That's cool. They must have updated this. It's never been able to access live data. Actually, I have to get a picture of this and send it to Spirit Maker. Give me a sec. I'm gonna be right back. Yeah, that's cool. I've That must be, they must have just done that because I haven't haven't seen that yet. So that's cool. Um, I wonder if our GPT got messed up though because of that update. So it did just send me a bunch of random junk that I don't need. Okay, there we go. So if y'all are using our GPT right now, we will get it fixed pretty soon. But if you just say the typical let's make or generate today's BTC market recap, it's just gonna give you the actual market analysis based off of I guess whatever data it's pulling right now. Which I guess it has a chart. I don't know. I guess I don't know where I got that, but maybe the Google charts or something. But it'll just make you a basic I don't even know what it did here. So just something random, but If you want to actually do our DMR that we always use on the live streams, you just go ahead and just say let's make a DMR, just like I did right here, and then you'll see it pop up right here. So that's kind of or that's what I would do if you're going to do that. So if you want, you can use this, I guess, but this isn't something we created or anything. It's just yeah. And also, I don't know, like sometimes I guess maybe if you look it up, it might just put you into this DMR here and not the other one, because GPTs are weird like that sometimes. I guess because it is AI, so it's just going to answer your question as best as it thinks it can. So even if you say the same thing as me, you might get different results normally. But if you do end up having the same problem I just had, you just go ahead and say let's make a DMR. Alright, let's jump into it. So I'm going to head to TradeView, and we are going to get our lines here set up for today. So these are yesterday's lines, so I'm going to go ahead and set them up for today. So I'm going to turn off all of them, actually, what I'm going to do. And the first thing that we do on these is we take our screenshots. So you're going to want a screenshot of the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15, and the 5 minute. And the best thing that you can do is you go ahead and go to your 4 hour or whatever time frame you want to start with. You're going to kind of like zoom out a little bit, and then you'll just go over and double click all the sides for all of the indicators. I guess whatever indicators you use. If you are using MACD and RSI, that's what we use. MACD, top one, RSI, and then we use the stoaches as well on the bottom. And then we also have our different lines on here. If you don't have that many indicators, I would probably just say RSI is probably the top one, and then lines, because I think you get 2 with like basic plan of TradeView. So if you can only have 2, that's what I would go with. And I believe you actually might get 3 if you delete the volume indicator on here. So there's like some volume at the bottom of your chart whenever you first get TradingView. If you delete that, and then you can get another one. So if you can, I would definitely go like if you get 3, I would go MACD, RSI, and then the moving averages that we have on here. And you don't need all of them. Like we have the 200, the 100, the 80, 50, and 21. So if you don't want all of those, and you can just get those all in one indicator with CBC, 5MA, DRS. You don't want all of those though. You can just go ahead and get the just look up like EMA, I don't know, like 2 EMAs or something. And then when it throws up all of the EMAs, you can go into your settings on the indicator. So if you go to the indicator and press more, then you can go to settings, and you can change all of the lengths to whatever you want. So like right now mine are 21, 50, 80, 100, and 200, but like I could change my 21 to be 200 as well, and that would change the chart. But that's kind of what we'd go with if you don't have all of the indicators. Regardless of that, you're just going to auto all of these. And then we're going to get a screenshot. So starting at the 4 hour, we'll get a screenshot here. And then we'll go back to our GPT and throw it in there. Move on to our 1 hour, same thing. And we're just going to go down the line, getting all of them. I like to start out with the 4 hour so I can remember easily which one I have and haven't done. And then we'll move all the way down to that 5 minute. All right. So now that we got all 4 of our screenshots on here, you can see 4 hour, 1 hour, 15, and 5. Now we're going to go ahead and get our FRBP levels, but before we go and grab those, I'm going to show you guys how to type it in real easily on here. So the easiest thing you can do for typing in FRBP levels is literally type FRBP levels first. And then under that, we're going to do 24 hour. And then we're going to do morning. And these are going to be kind of like our sections for. So we'll have 24 hours kind of as like our header, and then we'll have our sections of 24 hour and morning. And you could even put like 3 dots after 24 hour or FRBP levels if you want. And then we'll do insert, and just make sure you leave like a space in between. It really, honestly, it doesn't probably matter. You probably have this all just in one like line, and GPT will figure it out. But I prefer to have it like where when I look at it, I kind of know what's going on, just in case I'm like, what happened here? I can go back and be like, oh, okay, this was wrong, or whatever. I can edit it. So under 24 hour, starting out, we'll do volume area high, so VAH. And then below that, we'll do point of control, so POC, and then volume area low, or VAL. And these will be our 3 different FRBP levels that we'll grab. I'm going to go ahead and copy those and then paste them under our morning. So now that we have our 24 hour section and our morning section, and then below that, we go down 1 or 2, and we do 30-minute candle. And we'll put high and low. And that will be the last thing that we'll grab on here. And real quick, before we go anything crazy, I'm going to go ahead and grab, I'm going to go to cryptocraft.com. And I can show you all on the other screen. So I just looked up cryptocraft.com. This is kind of what it looks like. We're going to head to today, the 14th. And this is the news that we got for today. So this whole section here is going to be our news. You can see we got some different meetings, and then Pal is speaking at 11:20, so that's something to watch out for. And then we just got some other moderate news. So yellow is something I don't really worry about. Red is more impact, or more expected impact, I guess. So something to kind of watch out for. It's red, and then orange is like kind of the middle in between them, so that's also something to watch out for. You can see here that since the government is shut down, that some of the things are subject to delay. So if they are subject to delay, it will say tentative on it. So none of them today have it. Let's see if we can get some. I believe there's one like the other day, but I don't know if it still says. Wow, that must have been a long time ago. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, here we go. On the Friday or Thursday, we got a bunch of tentatives. So you can see these are subject to change of time, which obviously they don't even have a time, so could get delayed, changed, or even just canceled. But today we're all set, so we got all our times in here. Day 2, this is just like an all-day thing, nothing to worry about, I wouldn't think. But yeah, really what you got to look out for is Powell speaking, Trump speaking. Yeah, there's a lot of different like meetings, like FOMCs, or yeah, just watch out for that red. That's really the main thing. Sometimes there's like they'll put like, oh, Trump speaks in yellow, and that's really the only time I've really seen it where it's like could be useful, because it'll be like if he could talk, and it could not even be about Bitcoin. It's just like he says Bitcoin like once, and then all of a sudden it'll be like boom, the charts will be affected, even though it's like not even like a thing about Bitcoin. So it just kind of, I don't know, just kind of what happens. But we'll grab a screenshot of that there and we'll just throw it in here. So once it loads, I'll show it to you. I just kind of grab a screenshot of the little like section of meetings. If you are on Windows computer, you can just do Windows key and then Shift and S all at the same time, and you can click and drag and just get a screenshot of that little section there, or you can just get a screenshot of the whole thing. I don't think it really matters. Just make sure you're on the right day. All right, we got our different things here, so we're gonna go back to our trade view and we're gonna go ahead and get those FRBP levels. So we're gonna go to the 1 hour. This is the easiest chart to do this on. We'll go down from the crosshairs 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, my bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess technically it's 5. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I always say 4 because if you go down 1 from the crosshairs, start there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 4. My bad. And then you go to fixed range volume profile. It's the one right above the brush if you are confused by what I just said. And then we'll go to yesterday. So yesterday was Monday at 7 to 7 o'clock today. There we go. 7 a.m. on both days. Mine are set to 24-hour charts, time frames, but even if you are, it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Next, I already have my levels kind of on here, so I'm going to just turn them on. But if you don't have these levels like this, you just hit Alt-J, and that'll give you a line just like this. And then you can just go ahead and change this to whatever you want. You're welcome to use whatever line you want. I just prefer the raise because that way if I'm going back in my history, I kind of know where the line's starting at, and I'm not looking. Like, I'm not back here like, wow, why is this line here? You know, like this. If this extended out this way, I wouldn't be like, why is there like a line here? Where did I put that there? It's really not that crazy for like this kind of stuff, but whenever you start like putting targets and stuff on your chart, that is when I really like to have those rays on there, because then if you go back in time, you know exactly where you started that target, and like typically you can kind of see why too, because you're like, oh, I was targeting the top here or whatever it is. Oops. Alright, we're actually below our volume area low, so that's kind of crazy. Next thing we'll do to get their mornings, actually, you know what, I'm going to throw these into our GPT first. So as long as you get these kind of lined up, like they don't have to be perfect. As you can see, the red sticking out a little bit here, but as we say all the time on our channel, resistances or support, which is what these are going to be. These are going to be resistances because they're above price action, but all these resistances are more of areas or ranges anyways. So like take it for example, this one, typically the close of the candles are kind of where the resistance is, but you can see we're actually a little bit above the close, almost on those candle wicks, with obviously we didn't pull it off of there, but so the range could even be like that whole thing there. Or it could even be all the way down to here. So ranges for resistance are pretty decent. That's why when we start making targets, we always tell y'all to take it off a little bit before your targets, because that's always kind of, you're never going to get like a perfect reading of the market. Sometimes you might get lucky, you get it pretty close, but it's never going to be 100% perfect. So targets are always, or targets, I guess even targets, resistance, or support are always kind of just like a little bit of a range. We are above, yeah. So we'll grab this levels. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on them. You can click on this little settings gear. Here, let me show you what it looks like. So you can see here in the middle, we got a little settings gear. We'll click on that. And this will bring up something like this. It'll probably be most likely on style if you've never messed with this before. But once you get it open, you'll just click on that coordinates tab. You're going to copy the first number here. So you can either use, either use Control C, or you can click and right click and then say copy. And once you get it copied, we'll head back to our GPT and we'll just paste it on our corresponding level. So I grabbed my volume area low or volume area high the first time, which is going to be the top one, or your red line whenever you do your FRBP levels here. And then yellow will be our PLC. So we'll click on that, go to settings. After you've done it once, it should just always pop up in coordinates. So all I have to do is open the settings and then just click do copy, basically. Go to the third one, same thing. All right, now we have all 3 of our 24-hour levels on there. So next we'll go to our morning ones. Our morning ones, it's basically the same thing. So we can head back to trade view. We're going to go ahead and close off our 24-hour volume area high, volume area low, and POC. And we'll turn on our morning levels here. And then what we'll do for these ones is we're going to click the dot at the back end of our FRBP level thing here. So we're going to click on it, grab that dot on the back side, and I'm going to move this over a little bit. Grab the dot on the back side, and then you're going to move it up to 3 o'clock this morning. And this will be our morning levels. So you can see they're a lot smaller. You might have to zoom in a little bit to find them. Then we're going to click and drag our new lines here. And again, if you don't have these lines, just go ahead and Alt J. That'll give you some rays on the chart for it. And then again, red is your volume area high, yellow is your POC, and blue is going to be your volume area low. It looks like we're actually getting a breakout of that volume area low right now. Pretty crazy. Okay, so then same thing, settings, we'll just copy it. Should already be on coordinates if you didn't change anything. Then we'll do POC. And then we'll do volume area low. Alright, we got our different levels on there. So then the last thing we'll grab is that 30-minute candle. So heading back to trade view, I'm going to go ahead and close this out and then also hide my lines. If you don't know how to hide and see stuff, you can go ahead and go to this right side over here. And then you're going to go down to the one that looks like 2 boxes stacked on each other. Or 2 squares, I guess, stacked on each other. Click on that, and then you're going to go to object tree on the left. If it's not already on there, just go to object tree. And then you can see pretty much everything you've ever put on your chart. Be careful because at the bottom there is your indicators, so you're not going to want to delete those or hide those by accident. But the top section should be all of your lines and different levels that you've drawn on here, and you can even name these. So if you like right click on them, oh my bad, actually you just click on them. If you click on them right, you can just edit them in there, or you can like open it up and it's like a settings thing. You can just change the name of them. So like I have all the ones I use all the time. Kind of on here. Yeah, so we'll go with, oh, we're grabbing our 30-minute candle, right? So we'll go to 30-minute. One thing I did see the other day is, yes, so if you like double click and hold, and I don't know if this, what me and Spearmaker were trying to figure out how to do this, but it was not working for him. But you double click and then hold, and you can just hover over the candle that you want, and it will show you like the open and the close and high and low, like pretty much everything about the candle you want to know. Even where the different levels here are for your EMAs. But you know, like since we couldn't get it to work for our spirit maker, I don't know if it'll work for y'all. So uh, if it doesn't work for you, right under where it says Kabroda on my uh, screen up here, there'll be an H and an L on your screen. You can see there's two different numbers. So you can go grab the high and the low from there. For the purpose of the stream, so you guys can see it, I'm just going to click and hold. You could also just grab them right here off my screen. Just like press pause, grab a screenshot, whatever you need. But these are going to be the levels for my screen. So 111, 192 will be our first one. So head back to ChatGPT. 111. I already forgot it. 111, 192. All right, and then our low will be, well, okay, that was bad. 111, 228. My bad. I put the open on there. So we're going to change this to 228, 111, 228, and then we're going to go to our lows again, and we're going to go 110, 674 will be our low. 110, 674. All right, so we got all of our different levels on there. We got our screenshots on there. The one last thing you could do is you can use you can put your weekly FRBP levels on there. For me, and for the purpose of the live stream, we're going to keep it nice and simple, not do those. But if you would like to, you're welcome to. You can also, if you don't know how to do it, just go ahead and ask the GPT. It should be able to help you out, kind of walk you through it as you're doing it. But for us, we'll just stick with these. So we'll go ahead and send them in. It might take a second. Sometimes it thinks longer than others. Not really sure why, because it always kind of comes up with pretty much the same results. So, I mean, like obviously it's different stuff every day, but when it thinks longer, it's not like they're like better or anything. Is what I was trying to say, I guess. Interesting. Really hope that doesn't. I really hope it doesn't keep doing that or have to reload it. That would kind of suck. Oh man, that's not good. Excuse me. Can I copy all that? Alright, we're gonna open a new battle box in a new tab. Nah, didn't get our screenshots. That sucks. But I think I have everything open, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the screenshots real fast. And then I'll move my screen over if it does end up working. Okay, so give me a second, guys. Almost got all of them. And then we're gonna grab our new screenshot too. Alright, all of our screenshots are on there. I'm gonna send it in, see if this one will work for us. If it does, well, actually, I'll just go ahead and switch it right now. See if it'll come up. There we go. This is our new one. So I got all of our things loaded in. See if it actually works now. If it doesn't end up working, we'll just go through and do some TA on the charts without our battle box TA. I'm not sure why it's working. It looks like it updated last night, so could have something to do with it. Or yeah, could be a couple different things, but if it doesn't end up working, we'll just go through and do some TA on the charts with the lines that we've already made. And you don't need the battle box necessarily. Like, you could just use the different levels we kind of showed you how to set up. The battle box is nice. The nice thing about the battle box is you could actually like ask it questions and like kind of learn how to do it. But I guess when it works, you know. But yeah, it is pretty cool whenever it works. I guess it wasn't working with the screenshots for some reason. Wonder if it's even going to be correct without the screenshots. Interesting. All right, let's head back to our trade view and do some TA. Check for some trades, and then we'll sign off. So I'll just go ahead and turn on all of our different lines that we just made. So we got our volume area high all the way down to our volume area low of the morning. For some reason, everything is taking a long time to load now. Come on, computer. There we go. Alright, so yesterday we kind of came up, bumped into our 4-hour 200, and then rejected off of it. If you watch the recap, we do talk about, I guess, like, kind of cover that more in detail of what's kind of happening and what we're kind of looking for after that. But typically, test the 200. The 200 and like all the EMAs are basically just an easy way for us to see where possible support and resistance could be. And they do move with the chart, but you can see like we got this support here or resistance here at the 200 level. So about 115,968. There's some resistance. And like I said, that could be a range. So like it could be all the way down to our 24-hour here. In that small little range there. But you can see we came up, we retested that 200 and then broke down. And it's even just like what we always tell y'all about the just regular trades. Like you can see we broke down, broke through that resistance, or really it was support then. We broke through the support and then we come back up, retest it, and that just proves that now it is resistance. So we flipped it to resistance, and now we retested it, confirming that it's resistance, and broke down. So now if we do end up breaking up, we gotta get through that level before we can continue higher. That's kind of how support and resistance work throughout the different levels. And that's true for what these are too. These are just support and resistance levels as well. Just different levels we kind of figure out through essentially math, but just that little drawing we did on the chart. Alright, so starting with the 4-hour, we came up, we broke down from that resistance. Now we're kind of sitting down here. There is some support right here at, let's see, what level is this? 110, 300-ish area. There's some support. Alright. Right there. So we are looking to hold that, looking to hold our volume area low. That's kind of the range right there. You can see MACD is flipping to the downside, so not a good thing for holding this resistance. Also RSI is continuing to show another breakdown here, as the faster moving average, the purple one broke down through the yellow one, the slower moving average. Not looking great. You can see our stoaches, are also breaking down. Stoaches, though, as this is why, like earlier, I was saying you really want the top two indicators. Stoaches are great for the smaller time frames, but for something like the 4 hour or the 1 hour, they're not that important, because it's just like you already, okay, they're just not very accurate, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes they'll break down like this, and then you'll be like, oh, we're gonna go up because the stoaches are down, and then but our MACD and our RSI are both like, oh no, we're gonna go down actually. So and then we end up going down because MACD and RSI are going to be more accurate on time frames like this for sure. Moving on to 1 hour. So you can see basically essentially the same thing, kind of broke up, tested that resistance there, and then broke down. We are actually breaking through that resistance right here. There is a little bit more of a range here at 190-500, kind of in between these two. So we are looking to break that bottom there. I guess possibly fill this wick. That'd be kind of crazy. That wick is from that Friday, I believe last week, whenever. Yeah, last week, whenever. Actually, it's some news or something, I'm guessing, but we just had this crazy breakdown. So we're breaking down here. MACD is showing, we've already actually been in some red for quite a while now. Typically the MACD, you can see the histogram kind of lasts for about 8 candles or so. And right now we're well past that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Technically these don't count because we did flip pink right here. So once we start to lose some of that momentum, we flip to that lighter color of the histogram. That's kind of when you see us start to flip back over. It could technically start again, I guess, red, but typically you'll see us kind of at least come back to more of the middle ground. But honestly, we could continue down today. It's kind of what the charts are saying right now, at least. As for RSI, we are getting near the bottom for RSI, which is kind of what the MACD, I guess, is telling us as well. So getting near that bottom on the RSI. Stoaches are actually bottomed as well, so they're kind of agreeing with the rest of the indicators right now. So that's kind of what we're looking at for there. Moving to the 15. 15, we still see that downwards trend here, so you can see we still are in a nice downtrend. Higher or lower highs, lower lows. So essentially what that means is this would be a higher high, so you come up, or not a higher high. This would be a high, so you come up from the bottom, come up, hit a high, and then you come down, and then this is a low, high, low, high, and then whenever this kind of starts to turn, that would be the next low. So what I mean by higher highs or lower highs, I mean, is you have your high here. And then your next high on the chart is going to be lower than that, and then you continue that trend. That kind of tells you you're in a downtrend, and obviously that's pretty obvious. I mean, like, oh yeah, like I could see like, oh, this part of the chart is higher than this part of the chart. It's like, yeah, we're in a downtrend, obviously, but it's just kind of starts to show you like what kind of trend we're in. So, and whenever we break trend is when we flip that. So like whenever you see the candle, like say maybe we flip here and we start to go up, and then you'll see that lower or the higher low. So instead of being lower than this low, it'll be higher than this low. So that'll be a higher low, and then we'll get higher than that high. That'll kind of break the trends that we're in, and we'll start to go the other way. I even see people trade like that. Like they literally just put a line like that, and then they're like, okay, so if price like breaks up here, and then we come back down, retest, and take off, then I'll get in. Like I'll get in right here and take the trade. and I've seen people make money from that. But essentially, like, it's a different way to trade for sure, but you definitely can trade like that. It's not the way that we really teach to trade, but it's kind of the same idea though. Like, you're just trading support and resistance. It's just you're trading that flip of the trend line, which is resistance, because you can see we kind of like hit it, come down, hit it again, hit it again. And whenever you have more than 2 points contacting a line of resistance line like that, then it is a trend line. So we got a 1, 2, and 3, and I mean, you could say like 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I'm just gonna count the highs here. So 1, 2, 3, nice easy points of resistance there. So you can see we broke down there, and then if we get that flip, we'll come up, break down, test it, or not break down, we'll come up, test it, and then take off. I'm sure, like, I haven't really got into that kind of trading, but I'm sure if you were going to get into that, it's definitely, there's a little bit more you have to think about it than that, but that's kind of the gist of it. Moving on from that, we were flipped bullish on the MACD. Now we're kind of starting to flip bearish. We are way oversold on the RSI. We're actually in some pretty crazy divergence. And what I mean by divergence is basically the trend on the chart is a downtrend, so like we just kind of showed, but specifically on the bottom. So whenever you get divergence, if it's on the top, it's going to be bearish, and if it's on the bottom, it'll be bullish. But specifically on the bottom here, we have some divergence where the price action is continuing lower. And then if you look at RSI though, we're kind of flat. So that'll be a divergence. I believe that one is, I don't remember. They have names for all of them. Essentially, if you just remember, if it's different, like if the trends on the chart is like up or down and the RSI is middle, or it's the opposite of whatever the trend is, then you got divergence. It could also happen, I guess, if the chart's sideways and the RSI is like doing a downtrend or uptrend. Basically, if the RSI is different than the chart, then that's a divergence. And if it's on the bottom, it's going to be bullish. If it's on the top, it'll be bearish. So right now we do have some bullish divergence here for a pretty long time, actually. So kind of see what happens here. This chart here is kind of making me think we're going to do like one of these things here. Like we'll get it down, come up, down, come up, and then we'll get a nice spike down here. And then we're going to come up, and if we get above this level right here, and then we'll come back down to like, we'll call it the 786 level, or like the golden pocket, really is what everybody calls it. But it's essentially just like you put some fib levels on here, and those are Fibonacci levels, which if you'd never heard of Fibonacci levels, go look it up. It's pretty crazy. Fibonacci levels are like in pretty much everything. But essentially, if you drew fib levels on here, then you'd see the golden pockets like between 6.7 and 7.86, I think. And if we'll come back down, retest it right there, that golden pocket, and then we'll fire out of it. And if we get that fire out of it, then that'll be a pretty nice move, actually. And if you haven't already noticed, you actually get somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern kind of right here with that move. It's also like a pattern we've kind of caught up before. I believe it's on some of our videos, but kind of talk about it. It's just a very typical reversal pattern that you can use. So you'll see the downtrend, and then a way deeper downtrend, and then come back up, a break above that line right here. I've heard people call it different things, but essentially there's like a neckline, essentially. So if you kind of break that neckline, and then you'll come back down, retest that 786 level, and boom, take off. That'll be kind of interesting if we see that. Not that's not guaranteed for sure, but that's kind of what I'd be looking at. Moving to the 5. See if we get any thing here. All right, there we go. So you can see we got price action kind of coming down. We're actually sitting in that 3 different levels. We are below the 21 on the 5. Well, okay, as we say that, it breaks above. But we're definitely below the 200, so we are in a more bearish mindset. You'd see Stoches, or sorry, MACD is looking downwards. We did just flip upwards though, so see if we can continue that trend. RSI is also it is in the oversold section, so we could be flipping here. Looking like we're gonna move bullish. And wow, we are really taking off of that candle. Stoches are also saying we have a little bit more room up, and Stoches do matter more on the 5 minutes. So you can see about halfway. Once we get up into this kind of zone, we'd be looking for trend to at least make some sort of pullback before we continue higher, according to the 5 minute. So it is something you have to be mindful of what time frame you're on, because you don't want to be like, oh well, since the 5 minute says we're gonna go down, like we better get out of our trade because we're gonna go like way far down, and then really if you go look at the other time frames, it's like, oh well, no, we're actually gonna continue up. It's just we're just waiting for that little pullback. So like you're thinking like, oh, we're gonna like go up and get this massive dump like way down, but really probably more likely to happen if 5 minutes like that just kind of go sideways or even down and sideways and then take off. Like it's not that big of a deal, but just a little bit of trading advice. Again, not financial advice, so not just for educational purposes only, but as is all of our videos. But that's kind of what we're looking at for today. So if you are looking to trade, just be mindful of that. Kind of look for the breakout of volume high or volume low. Honestly, I think this line here at 110 300 level is a better line to kind of be watching for of that break and retest. If we're going to break to the downside at least, which it looks like we kind of have the possibility to break upside as well. So, and for upside, I would probably be honestly probably look at that volume area high on the morning, but we could be looking at that volume area low as well. Kind of just depends on where price action is. I would say if you do end up like trying to take the trade off the volume area high, you're going to be watching real closely for when it crosses that 24-hour volume area low, or 24-hour volume area low, because could be some resistance there. After that though, next target would probably be that 24-hour POC. So you got a pretty decent move there. We'll see. Excuse me. Let's see how good we do. All right, target there. Yeah, let's make it 2-to-1. Pretty nice move. And then stretch target would be that volume area high. So you get 3.2. Not bad, not bad. That's kind of what we're looking for. Yeah. If y'all are watching, that's probably more likely what we'll get. If we do get that breakdown, excuse me. If we get that breakdown, honestly, there's not a lot down there. Like we're kind of looking for it to kind of fill that wick of Friday. So all the way down to like 101, which is kind of scary, honestly. It probably means more than likely we won't get that just because. But it is a possibility that we break down like that. Yeah. Other than that, we should have some levels coming out on X from the live from the battle box. As long as the battle box is cooperating, I guess we'll have the levels coming out. But yeah. Other than that, we got our video coming out, a recap coming out at 10. So make sure you check that out. Got some little bit of trading information in there, just a little bit of teaching and Mostly it'll recap of yesterday. So if you kind of can see where our mind was at yesterday and kind of like what we're kind of looking for or what we're doing. But yeah, hopefully y'all have a good rest of your day. Happy trading to y'all, and we'll see y'all tomorrow at 8 in our live. See you.